The morning after Bolt's heroic act had a strange kind of stillness to it. The sun rose golden and soft over the horizon, filtering through the windows of Leo's room where Bolt still lay curled up beside his best friend. Leo stirred, groggy from a night of excitement, and found Bolt already awake, watching the sunrise. His fur, now glistening in the morning light, almost looked silver. "You're up early," Leo murmured, stretching. Bolt wagged his tail and licked Leo's cheek. His eyes sparkled with an energy that seemed more focused now, like he was waiting for something, expecting something. Downstairs, the atmosphere buzzed. The neighbors had spread word about the night's event. People were already calling Leo's mother, asking about the incredible dog. She smiled, brushing it off humbly, but the world outside was beginning to take notice. The local news station had even left a voicemail, curious about the hero dog of Maple Street. Leo's mother poured him cereal and looked over her glasses. "Everyone's talking about Bolt. You proud of him?" Leo nodded sleepily. "He saved a kid's life. He should be famous." Bolt sat by the door, ears perked. The woods were calling. A few days later, after school, Leo and Bolt ventured deeper into the woods behind their house. It wasn't the first time they'd explored the trees, but this time was different. This time, Bolt seemed to be guiding, not following. They followed an overgrown trail Bolt had sniffed out on their last visit. The trees grew taller, the light dimmer, and the sounds of birds and rustling leaves became a song that pulsed with mystery. They came upon an old wooden sign, half covered in moss and barely legible. "Pine Hollow, Wildlife Reserve." Leo tilted his head. "I've never heard of this place." Bolt sniffed the sign, ears flicking. Something about the area made his fur stand on end, but not in fear. It was like an old memory trying to surface. He sniffed the ground, barked once, and darted forward. "Hey, wait up!" Leo called. As they wandered deeper, Leo noticed Bolt acting differently. He was alert, focused, almost like he was tracking something. Every time Leo paused, Bolt would glance back, his eyes intent, urging him to keep moving. The forest around them was growing denser, more alive. Birds chirped overhead, and small animals darted across the underbrush. There was a strange beauty in how untouched it all felt. Then came the cry, a high-pitched yelp, not from any dog, but from something smaller and terrified. Bolt bolted ahead, weaving between trees. Leo followed, ducking branches and jumping over roots until he stumbled into a clearing. There, tangled in brambles, was a fox cub, its paw caught in a hunter's illegal trap. Blood stained the leaves. Leo gasped, "We have to help!" Bolt approached the cub carefully, his body low and calm. He let out a series of low, soothing rumbles. The fox whimpered, but didn't try to escape. With trembling hands, Leo opened the trap. It snapped open with a metallic snap, and the cub scrambled away a few feet. Then it turned back and looked at Bolt. Something passed between them, a silent thank you, an unspoken bond. As they turned to leave, Bolt stopped near an old oak tree and began digging furiously. Leo joined him, puzzled. A few inches down, they uncovered a rusted metal box sealed shut with a latch. Inside, old photographs, newspaper clippings, and a faded badge. "Forest Ranger Henry Carter," Leo read aloud. "He used to patrol Pine Hollow. Disappeared years ago." One photo showed the ranger with a white dog that looked eerily like Bolt. Same fur pattern, same eyes. That night, back home, Leo and his mom researched the ranger. The last known entry in his journal, found at the edge of the reserve, mentioned something strange. A white-furred dog that watches from the trees, like a guardian. Leo looked at Bolt, stunned. "Is that you?" Bolt tilted his head, his eyes shimmering with something ancient. Something more. The next morning, Bolt wouldn't stop pacing. He pawed at the door, then ran to the back gate. Leo, still rubbing sleep from his eyes, followed him outside. Bolt barked twice and dashed toward the woods. They returned to Pine Hollow, this time more prepared. Snacks, first aid, a flashlight, and a notebook. They walked for hours, exploring hidden paths. They stumbled upon old ranger signs, moss-covered benches, and even a rusted observation tower half sunken into the earth. In one glade, they found a cave sealed by branches. Bolt sniffed it, then began pulling at the barrier. The wood cracked and gave way. Inside, they discovered an underground ranger station. Forgotten, dusty, but mostly intact. Maps lined the walls, a rusted radio sat in the corner, and wildlife logs filled drawers. Bolt led Leo to a locker. Inside, a tattered map circled with strange symbols. One was marked with the word Sentinel Tree. Leo unfolded the map, heart racing. "We're not just exploring anymore," he said to Bolt. "We're on a mission." Bolt barked once, tail high. As they exited the cave, the fox cub appeared again, this time watching from a distance. It wasn't alone. Several forest animals stood near it. Deer, squirrels, a raccoon. Silent, alert, curious. Leo stood frozen. "Bolt, what is this?" Bolt didn't bark. He stepped forward, slowly, and the animals didn't flee. They watched him with reverence, like he was one of them, or more. It was as if the forest had been waiting for him. Back home, Leo and Bolt sat under the stars again. They were quiet, each processing the events of the day. The wind rustled the trees, and distant owl calls echoed in the night. Leo whispered, "You're more than just my hero. You're theirs too, aren't you?" Bolt didn't answer. He simply placed a paw on Leo's chest, just like before. Far in the forest, the wind stirred the sentinel tree, and the forest, once quiet, began to awaken. Morning sunlight spilled across Leo's notebook, its pages now filled with notes about Pine Hollow, sketches of trails, a map of the forest, and questions he hadn't yet dared to ask aloud. Sitting at the kitchen table with a pencil between his fingers and Bolt at his feet, Leo glanced toward the backyard where the tree line loomed like a silent guardian. "Sentinel Tree," he murmured, running his fingers across the map again. "What are you hiding?" Bolt's ears perked up at the word. He stood, tail stiff, and walked to the window. His gaze was fixed, determined. It was time. They entered Pine Hollow just after breakfast. The forest felt different today, warmer, richer, and somehow older. Every step Leo took seemed to echo a story, and Bolt's movements were more deliberate than ever, like he knew exactly where to go. They retraced their steps to the underground ranger station, where the tattered map had pointed them to something deeper. Sentinel Tree. Leo clutched the map in one hand, a flashlight in the other. He wasn't going to lose track of their destination again. As they passed the clearing where the fox cub had appeared, Leo slowed. "Do you think we'll see it again?" Bolt paused and looked toward the trees, but the forest only whispered. An hour later, they reached the far edge of Pine Hollow, an area Leo had never dared to venture before. The trees here were massive, their trunks gnarled and twisted. One stood taller than the rest, with bark as thick as stone, and roots that curled like ancient fingers through the soil. "The sentinel tree," Leo breathed. Bolt circled it once, then barked, short, sharp, and urgent. Leo placed a hand on the tree. The bark was warm, pulsing faintly beneath his fingers. Suddenly, the ground beneath the roots shifted. A patch of earth caved slightly, revealing a narrow stone staircase descending into the dark. Leo turned to Bolt. "Are we really doing this?" Bolt's response was to descend the steps first. The staircase led to a tunnel carved with markings Leo didn't recognize, symbols that glowed faintly with the soft green light. The air smelled of moss and time. As they walked deeper, the tunnel opened into a circular chamber, stone-lined and filled with artifacts. Wooden totems, broken lanterns, and worn scrolls. At the center of the room stood a pedestal. Upon it sat a book bound in leather, untouched by dust or decay. Leo opened it carefully. The first page read, "To the Guardian, welcome back." He looked at Bolt. "You've been here before, haven't you?" The pages revealed the story of Pine Hollow, how it was once protected by a mysterious white dog, known only as the Guardian of the Forest. This guardian had been chosen by the creatures of the woods, granted long life and deeper understanding of nature to protect the balance. The book told of a battle, a fire sparked by human greed, a poacher who had sought to take the forest for his own. The Guardian fought back, saving countless animals, but disappeared soon after. Leo whispered, "You died, didn't you?" Bolt's eyes shimmered in the chamber's light. He took a step forward and nudged the book with his nose. "Reborn," the next page read, "When the forest called again." They left the chamber in silence. The sentinel tree sealed behind them as they reached the surface. But something had changed. Leo could feel it. Back home, Leo tried explaining the story to his mom. She listened carefully, but didn't ask too many questions. "You've always had a wild imagination." She smiled. "Just be safe out there." That night, as Leo lay in bed, a soft tapping came at the window. He opened the curtain to find the fox cub, its paw now healed, staring at him. Bolt leapt to the window, but didn't bark. Instead, he whined softly. Leo opened the window. The cub turned and darted into the night. Bolt didn't hesitate. He barked once, sharply, and took off into the dark. Leo grabbed his flashlight and followed. The fox led them deep into Pine Hollow, to a clearing they hadn't seen before. In the center stood a tree scorched black by lightning, its bark cracked and smoldering. Around it, animals of all sizes stood in silent formation. Rabbits, deer, owls, even a badger. The cub stepped forward and nuzzled the burnt tree. Leo looked around. "Why are they here?" Bolt stood at the edge, unmoving. The clearing seemed charged with energy. Leo stepped forward and placed a hand on the tree. A rush of memories, not his own, flooded his mind. Flashes of fire, the cries of animals, Bolt howling into the flames, the old ranger's voice calling his name, and then silence. Leo stumbled back. "They remember you? From before?" A low growl interrupted the silence. From the shadows emerged a large dog, dark-furred, scarred, and snarling. Bolt moved between Leo and the newcomer. "The animals didn't scatter. They watched. The